Hi there, my name is Miguel and I will be showing you the concepts of basic camera basics. I'll be going with you through the aperture, the ISO, and shutter speed, as well as maybe exposure compensation. So pretty much first we have the aperture. So it's basically the lens opening. So when you take a photo, when you click the button, that it's how big the lens opens when you hit that button. So basically, large aperture, which is like that, is represented by small number, f-stop. So I'll show you on the camera, be much easier. So pretty much here, we have our basic settings of aperture, also known as f-stop. We have our shutter speed here and our ISO. So basically f-stop, small number, more light. And if you refer to the meter whenever I'm changing settings, basically this is the neutral. So it shows that exposure for the image. Basically the camera sees it as looking good, not too bright, not too dark. Too bright is up here on the +2, and too dark is basically on the -2 portion of the lens. Of the meter. So f-stop higher, less light, obviously darker. F-stop, if we make it smaller, obviously more light. So gets back to there. And we have the so take a shot in 3.5, do something like that. If we get make it bigger, no, smaller, sorry, bigger number, always confusing. F14, obviously it's blinking, too dark, so we're getting a really dark image, pretty black actually. So that's your aperture, larger number, less light, pretty much black. As you can see, the meter tells us it's too dark. Always refer to your meter, best friend. And f-stop, small number, so large, bigger lens opening, f3.5. It's probably the biggest this lens can go given the focal length. Sorry for the big term. Focal length basically means the millimeter, the length at which your lens is set to really. So currently it's at 18 millimeter. It's pretty wide, as you can see from this image. So that's basically your aperture. And then we have our aperture. Then we have our ISO. Our ISO here in this case is 1000, because it's pretty dark in this room. So I'll give you an example of what it does. Basically it's controls the the sensitivity of the sensor. So if we have a pretty large with high ISO, get more light coming in. See, the meter's there, so if we bring it to actually lower, say 400, so you can see much darker. Light is sensor is less sensitive. If we bring it higher, more sensitive, more light. So I changed. Only thing I changed there was ISO. Shutter speed, aperture remains the same. Faster, high ISO, more grain though. Grain, I mean, is those yucky, noisy spots really on the image there. Not nice. Basically, your quality decreases a lot if your aperture is just really high. But of course, sometimes you can't help to use a high aperture. In this case, it's pretty dark. So for really dark situations, you generally be using something like ISO 800. Generally, I don't like to push above 800. 1600 is really pushing it. But you know, if you have to, you have to. generally, as a rule of thumb, you gotta get sharper images. So that's the ISO, and if we make it 400, so it's gonna be really dark. Dark. It's only ISO, bear in mind. But yeah, image like that. There's no grain. Well, barely noticeable, as you can see. It's just dark. So that's our ISO, and now let's go to our shutter speed. So currently we're shooting at 30th of a second. Our shutter speed there, and okay, so let's decrease our shutter speed. There we go. Immediately the meter's going up. If we increase, meter goes down. Dark. Enough light. See? Black. So basically low shutter speed, very slow, more light. As you can see, the time here goes lower and lower and lower, closer to a second. So that's roughly a second there. 1 divided by 4 there. Oh, and it's makes it much brighter, more light. As you can see, when you hear it, it goes much slower, right? Which means in that time the lens is opening for more, longer time. It's like taking more air. And when you increase, there's less air, less light, much quicker. And you can even increase it even more to let pretty much no light in. That's nothing, black. So ISO is 400 here, f-stop is 3.5, shutter speed is 320, obviously too high. Let's just get an exposure roughly right. So I'm using ISO of 800 here, shutter speed, let's bring it to about 25th. And that's pretty good, considering our focal length, our zoom, is roughly 18mm. So 25th of a second at 3.5 and ISO 800. As you can see, our meter is looking good. As you can see, our image is pretty well exposed. There you go. So yeah, if you got any more questions, feel free to email me at migz1234@gmail.com. My website is also www.ilagan. That's that's I for igloo, L for Lima, A for apple, G for goat, A for apple, N for Nelly, photography.com. Feel free to visit. And yeah, if you have any more questions, feel free to just send me an email. More videos will coming up. Thanks.